Well, the holidays can come along with some strong emotions, both good and bad. Many of us turn to social media to express our emotional problems, whether it be a breakup, family problems, or just a really bad day. So have Facebook and Twitter become the new therapist? Megan O'Day with Riverworks Marketing and Chloe Morrison with Nuga.com are here to give us some input on this. Now, I know that we see so much of this now all over people's statuses. Why do we feel the need to put our dirty laundry on Facebook, on Twitter?
I think it's a lot of different reasons. I think it's similar to why you share with your family. I think it's just kind of a new outlet. People have this ability now to broadcast everything to thousands of people, and maybe you don't necessarily think about it like that. So I think the outlet is what's new, and the sharing isn't as new, so I think people just haven't completely shifted their thinking in, hey, I'm sharing this with everybody.
Right, maybe we're sharing too much, some of that stuff that we wouldn't necessarily tell everybody.
I think the trouble is, too, when you're not really aware of the way that you're sharing and what you're sharing and kind of what that implies. I've been accused of oversharing online and in person a lot, and I kind of enjoy that, but it's also really conscientious on my part. Like, there's a really big difference. I write an opinion column for Nuga.com, and I've put some incredibly personal stuff out there, and that's not the same thing as a drunk tweet that I wake up the next morning and I'm like, what did I say? It's a lot of sharing, but it's always with a purpose.
And we have an example that we've pulled from one of my Facebook friends. She's been blocked out here, but this is just some of her statuses that you can see, you know, complaining about relationships, complaining about just what her day's been like. Those are just a few examples, and these are multiple posts, and it seems like it's always the same person that's making these types of posts. So I know you made the point about who we share with, but is this something that you want everybody to see, everybody that you know, even people that you don't know very well?
I guess I wonder if number one, people are thinking that they are sharing with people they don't know very well, and then I also wonder if maybe the type of person who overshares is the type of person who would overshare in a normal conversation, you know? I think what's interesting is that it's really kind of a subjective thing, you know? You might have a lower tolerance for oversharing than I do, or whatever. Something might be oversharing to you or not to me.
Well, so I see Facebook statuses too from these people. They say, well, hey, if you don't like what I'm posting, then just unfriend me. And I'm like, well, touche. I don't really have to be following you if I don't want to.
That's true.
And there's also the aspect, so when you look at, I mean, sharing on Facebook, you've got all these people that are looking at what you're doing. So how do you differentiate what you post? I mean, I feel like posting is sometimes therapy for people. Is it therapy? Is it healthy to put all that out there for everyone to see?
I think it really depends, because on one hand, everybody sometimes needs to feel less alone, and sometimes you can benefit from really valuable feedback online. But what you need to ask yourself, and maybe everybody needs to gain like some skills in being able to ask themselves, is, am I genuinely in need, or am I seeking attention? And I think everybody should always sort of check in with themselves in any situation, online or off, and sort of question their own motivations and what they really need.
That's a great point, and I think that people can tell when, or at least get a feeling like that person just really wants some attention. They want every single person to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I think that's really off-putting to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, be aware of if you might come off like that.
Right, it's just because you want that feedback.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, ladies, for being here. We really appreciate it, and we're going to have more Prime News at 7 coming up next. Stay tuned.